Hello everyone. Today in this lecture we will discuss forward propagation as well as the back propagation in LSTM architecture. So in our last lecture what we have discussed is we have discussed all these equations which are given over here in detail. So you can see my earlier lecture to understand what exactly these all equations are all about and how we have derived these equations. And it's not that all these equations are appearing randomly, but there is a reason associated with each of these equations, and all these equations then combine together to form the LSTM architecture. So if you recall, then we have actually three gates which we call as input gate, forget gate and output gate, and these three gates are represented with IT as input gate, FT as forget gate, and output as OT gate. So this I, F and O corresponds to input, forget and output, and we know that IT is basically obtained by applying a nonlinearity sigma onto the three input, that is input xt, previous hidden layer input, and the bias corresponding to that particular layer. So similarly, the equations for forget gate and output gate are discussed in detail in our earlier lecture. If you are confused in understanding these equations, I would request you to please visit my earlier lecture for this. And then we have different states in the LSTM architecture that we call as candidate state, cell state and hidden state. And we have already seen that the hidden state in the RNN is basically divided into two states here in case of LSTM. One is the hidden state and another one is the cell state, whereas candidate state is basically acting as a buffer which actually calculates the results in between, and then it will be passed to the cell state once it mutually agrees with that to the input gate. So that we have discussed already in greater details in our earlier lecture, so you can consult that. So candidate state is basically represented as GT, cell state is represented as CT, and hidden state is represented as HT, and all these equations are related to that. And then finally we have output, where we have the estimated output of a particular LSTM architecture, which is actually the softmax function applied to H. By now you know that what forward propagation is all about. Forward propagation is basically you are applying a input X to the LSTM architecture and you are getting some predicted output Y. So the flow of information from left to right is basically the forward propagation. So that information you can see here also. That flow of information you can see here also in these equations, and to see that you can see that you have this output yt here, and this yt is actually a function of ht. This ht again is a function of ct, and then ct is a function of ct minus 1 and gt, and now you can see how the information is propagating backwards, and here gt is again a function of xt, ht minus 1 and bg. So now you can see that how the input that is present over here is propagating to the output y hat t here through this set of equations. Similarly, the input which is present over here, that is xt, passed down to this y hat t which is over here through ot. So you can see that how ot is forward propagated into this hidden state, and from this we are obtaining ht, and this ht is then passed down here to produce the result y hat t. Similarly, you can go for other gates also, which are the forget gate and the input gate, and you will find similar observation where the input information which is present over here is passed down to the y hat t. So all these equations that governs the input gate, forget gate, output gate, candidate gate, and the states like cell state, hidden state to the output constitutes the phenomena of forward propagation. So this is called as forward propagation. So now the second thing is, in order to train the LSTM architecture, we have to go through the process of back propagation. And what is that? That is, in simple terms, it is like if you have this LSTM architecture and if you have this input over here and what you are getting at the output is y. So what you are doing now is you are calculating the loss that you will incur at the output, and then you backpropagate the errors. And in this process of backpropagation, whatever weights and biases which are present, which are tunable here, the weights and biases which are tunable here for the LSTM architecture will be tuned during the backpropagation process, and they will be adapted to the data set. So once you train the parameters W and B of the LSTM architecture through the backpropagation process, then you can say that your particular network is trained for a particular application. So what we will be doing in the backpropagation is we will be doing this training operation, which is this, that is how the weights and biases of this particular LSTM architecture is trained. And we know that the basic equation to train these weights and biases is through this simple gradient descent, where we have new weights which we are getting every time in each iteration as the old weights minus the derivative of the loss with respect to the weights times alpha. So this is the learning rate parameter, and this is the derivative of the loss with respect to the weights. So in backpropagation, what we are interested in is calculating this particular quantity. So once we have this particular quantity in our hand, and if we calculate that, then it is easy to calculate the new weights which are updated every time during the backpropagation process. So the whole idea of backpropagation is to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to the weights and the derivative of the loss with respect to the biases. So this is L. So we are defining the loss in the backpropagation architecture as this one. This is a quite standard loss which we normally encounter in most of the architectures. And the total loss, this is basically the loss per units. So you have LSTM architecture, right, for each time step, like time t is equal to 0, time t equal to 1, and time t equal to 2, and so on. So this loss is basically corresponding to a particular LSTM unit. But when you have to calculate the total loss, that will be summation of all the losses, that is the individual losses Li summing from Lj summing from 0 to t. That means you are actually summing up all the losses which are coming from all this LSTM architecture, and you are finally you are getting the total output, which is the loss of this particular architecture. So now the important step is to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to the tunable parameters. So what are tunable parameters here? So now if we go back to our forward propagation equation, so what we observe is the tunable parameters here are this ui, wi, uf, wf, u0, w0, ug, wg. So these are the tunable parameters, and along with that v is also there. So these are our tunable parameters which we have to train during the backpropagation process. So that is what is written over here. So as you can see, we are calculating the derivative of the loss with respect to the ui, that is the weight u present in the input gate, and same for this one for the forget gate, and this is for the output gate, and this is for the candidate state. And corresponding to same, we will have the derivative of the loss with respect to the weight here, and for this is for the forget gate, this is for output gate, this is for the candidate gate, and finally this is the loss with respect to the weight v, which is actually here. You can see this is the v. So this is the final weights v at the output stage. So all these weights need to be calculated, and then we can apply the update equation which is given over here for each of these individual cases. So the calculation of the gradients with respect to the weights, that is this one, involves calculation of the gradients with respect to the gates and states. So we will discuss what is this exactly, and then we will move forward. So what basically it is saying is, in order to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to W's and the derivative of the loss with respect to U's, first of all we calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to all the gates and the derivative of the loss with respect to all the states of the LSTM architecture. And once we calculate the derivatives of the loss with respect to gate and the derivative of the loss with respect to states, all these intermediate results will be then used in calculating the derivative of the loss with respect to W and the derivative of the loss with respect to U. So in order to calculate these losses, we will first of all calculate this so that these intermediate results can be used in calculating this. So let's focus on first of all calculating the loss with respect to the states first. So let us see what are the different states that we have in the LSTM architecture. The different states that we have in the LSTM architecture is, one is the candidate state, another one is the cell state, and the third one is the hidden state, that is GT, CT and HT. So we have GT, CT and HT as the states of the LSTM architecture. So what we have to do is, we are calculating the loss with respect to GT first, and the derivative of the loss with respect to CT first, and derivative of the loss with respect to HT. And in short, what we do is we say that the derivative of the loss with respect to GT as dGT, and the derivative of the loss with respect to CT as dCT, and the derivative of the loss with respect to HT as dHT. So this is just for the short form notation. And one more important thing that I wanted to discuss is the dimension of the GT, HT and CT. We discussed it in our last lecture also. So the dimensions, whatever the dimensions of these GT, HT and CT will be, the same will be the dimensions of its derivatives. So that is also important. So we will discuss these details in the later slide, but we have to be careful that whatever the dimensions we have for the GT, HT and CT, that same dimension should be for its partial derivative with respect to GT, and for the CT, and same for the HT. Okay, so in order to calculate these derivatives which we have listed over here, that is this one, what we are doing is we are using these results. We know that these results already, that is the derivative of a sigmoidal function is this one, and the derivative of the tan hyperbolic function is 1 minus tan hyperbolic square x. So we will be making use of these two results as we move forward. So the first expression that we want to calculate is the derivative of the loss with respect to HT. That is one of the hidden states. So in order to calculate that, the relevant equations that we have picked up from the forward propagation, that is, as you can see, we have these equations here. So what we are doing is we are taking the relevant equations which are actually important in calculating the loss with respect to HT. Once we picked that up, I am writing it over here. So you can see we have the last equation, that is y hat t as a function of VHT, and then what we are doing is we are saying let us say ZT is actually VHT. So what we do now is we rewrite this expression as y hat t as softmax of ZT, and the loss is defined like this. This we already know. So now the thing is, if we want to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to HT, which we are also calling as dHT, as we have just discussed over here. So what that will be? So we have to apply the chain rule. So you can see, first we will calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to the output, and then we will calculate the derivative of the output with respect to ZT, and then the derivative of ZT with respect to HT. So this chain rule has to be followed in order to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to HT, and the reason for that is actually this HT over here is indirectly related to YT, indirectly related to the loss through all these equations which are given over here. So that's why we have to apply chain rule in order to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to HT. So this expression which is given over here is actually given as y hat t minus yt times V transpose. This expression, you can consult my earlier lecture on recurrent neural networks. There we have derived this expression in detail when we discussed the back propagation of that RNN. So what I am doing is I am taking directly this expression from my earlier lecture. So once you calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to y hat t and times the derivative of the y hat t with respect to zt, so you will get this expression. So this expression is actually evaluated using these two. So once we have evaluated this expression, which is given over here, then what we will do is we will actually multiply it with this expression, which is this one. That is the derivative of the loss of zt, derivative of zt with respect to ht. So that one, so I am sorry about that. Actually, this combined expression which we have given over here is actually y hat t minus yt only, and that doesn't involve V transpose. So this V transpose is coming due to the derivative of the loss of zt with respect to ht. and that is over here. So for this expression, that how we obtain y hat t minus yt, you can consult my earlier lecture on RNN. From there you can see because this involves derivative of the softmax layer, so from there you can see how we have derived this expression. So once we have this, the important part is we know from our earlier lecture that the dimension of the HT matrix is basically B cross H. So the dimension of DHT has to be B cross H. That is important. So for that expression to be valid, like this has to be B cross H. So in order to check the validity of this result, what we are doing is we are writing the dimensions of the matrix individually. So we know that the dimension of the y hat t is B cross P. You can see my earlier lecture on this. And the dimension of V is P cross H. For this also you can see my earlier lecture. So once you do the matrix multiplication of these two, you will get the dimension B cross H as the output. So this verifies the calculation that we have done for the derivative. So now we have the derivative of the loss with respect to HT in our bag. So now the second thing that we will calculate is the derivative of the loss with respect to CT. So how we will be calculating this? And what we are doing is derivative of the loss with respect to CT we are calling as dCT. So now the relevant equations for this particular expression I am taking from forward propagation, and it is given as this. So these are the relevant equations that I have taken from the forward propagation equation. So if you do the same analysis, that is to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to CT, it will again follow this chain rule. You can check also. That is what you will do is you will calculate the loss with respect to y hat t with respect to HT, and the derivative of HT with respect to CT. So once you do all this, so you know that this is basically, this complete multiplication is basically DHT. So this DHT we are taking from here. So what we are doing, we are actually keeping this here. So this is, we have already evaluated from this expression. And now the second part is to calculate the derivative of HT with respect to CT. So how to calculate that? The derivative of HT with respect to CT, you focus on this equation, and you know that the derivative of HT with respect to CT will be OT times 1 minus tan hyperbolic square of CT. And this is actually, we are making use of this particular expression, that is the derivative of the tan hyperbolic x is 1 minus tan hyperbolic square x. So we are making use of it. So this is the complete expression for dCT, and please note that this particular is the Hadamard matrix. The multiplication over here is the Hadamard multiplication. And what is Hadamard multiplication? It is basically the multiplication between two matrices pointwise. So if you have, let us say, two matrices like this, A, B, C, D, E, F, and if you multiply that with another matrix which is X, Y, Z, M, N, O, so the multiplication of these two will be AX, BY, CZ, DM, EN, FO. So this is the Hadamard multiplication. So this you can see over here. And also we know that the dimension of the dCT is the same as CT, which is actually B cross H. So if you cross verify our calculation here, then y hat t has the dimension of B cross P, V transpose has the dimension of P cross H. So the complete matrix multiplication will have a dimension of B cross H here, and for this OT we have a B cross H, and this CT also has a dimension of B cross H. So when you multiply these two terms together, you will get a B cross H. So the two matrices, one is this matrix and another one is this matrix. Both of them have a dimension of B cross H, and they can be matrix multiplied only when you have a Hadamard multiplication in between. Then only it is possible. So for that case, you have dCT as this expression which is given over here. So similarly, you can calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to GT, and that will be actually given like this. You can cross verify that, and you know that the derivative of the loss with this complete expression over here is basically the derivative of loss with respect to derivative of loss with respect to CT, which is dCT. This we have already calculated. This one we have already calculated. till this point, and you know that this expression is same as this expression, but the extra term that is involved over here is the IT term, and this IT is basically coming due to this derivative, that is the derivative of the CT with respect to GT. And again you can cross verify the dimension of the GT is, you know, it is B cross H, so the derivative of the loss with respect to GT will also be of the dimension B cross H. So here you can see that once you do the matrix multiplications, the corresponding matrix multiplications, this particular matrix multiplication will result in B cross H, and this again results in B cross H. So the two matrices will only be multiplied when this is a Hadamard matrix multiplication, like this one. So both of them are actually Hadamard multiplication. So now we have this result, which is actually the DGT. So we have to keep all these results in our bag so that we can use these intermediate results to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to weights, which are this one, and the derivative of the loss with respect to U's. So we will be making use of these intermediate results in calculating these two derivatives. So now once we have calculated the derivatives with respect to the states, now the time has come to calculate the derivatives with respect to gates, and all these intermediate results what we have just discussed now will be used in calculating the derivative of the loss with respect to weights and U's. So now we have three gates, one is OT, another one is FT, and then the third one is the IT. So we have to calculate the losses with respect to OT, FT and IT. So let's calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to OT first, which we are calling as DOT. Again, I am taking the relevant equations from the forward propagation of the LSTM architecture, and you can verify that if you want to calculate the loss with respect to OT, that will be the derivative of the loss with respect to Y hat T, then the derivative of the Y hat T with respect to HT, and from HT to OT. So this is actually again a chain rule that you are following here, right? So the thing is, this thing we have already calculated earlier also so many times, so this is actually this expression, and then the only thing that we are requiring is the derivative of HT with respect to OT, which is we are getting it from here. So what we are getting is tan hyperbolic CT. And again you can cross verify that the dimensions of the DOT will be B cross H, which is same as the dimension of OT, which we have discussed in our earlier lecture. So you have to verify whatever expressions you are getting through matrix multiplications. So here this is basically the matrix multiplication, and once you obtain B cross H from this, then this B cross H will be multiplied with this B cross H using Hadamard matrix multiplication, which is given over here. So if you want to code this in using Python from scratch, then you have to, you know, make use of these equations to derive the backpropagation equations which are given over here. Okay, so now we have discussed the derivative of the loss with respect to OT. Now the second thing we will discuss is the derivative of the loss with respect to IT, which are again we are calling it as DIT, and these are the relevant equations that I have picked up from the forward propagation, and you can carry out this similar exercise over here. That is, the derivative of the loss with respect to IT is the derivative of the loss with respect to Y hat T, and then this expression, and then the derivative of HT with respect to CT, and then from CT to IT. So you can recall that up to this expression, which is this, is basically the derivative of the loss with respect to CT, and this we have already calculated here in our earlier slides, this one. So we will be making use of this expression that we have derived over here. So we are making use of that. So this is coming from our earlier derivation that we have done for the derivative of the loss with respect to CT, and this expression, that is the derivative of the CT with respect to IT, is actually done using this expression. And you can see when you take the derivative of the CT with respect to IT, you will get GT. So this is what you are getting over here. And again you can cross verify that the dimension of the IT is B cross H, and this has to be verified by matrix multiplication on the right side. And in order to make it a proper and a valid matrix multiplication, these two operations that you will do in between will be head-to-head matrix multiplication. So this we have discussed so many times, so you can cross verify each of these dimensions, and you can also see by yourself that these matrix multiplications do indeed follow proper matrix rules. So now the only gate that is left is the DFT, which is the derivative of the loss with respect to FT. You can do that similar exercise and it's very easy. If you do that, you will get this expression, which is the derivative of the loss with respect to f, which is df. So now we have all these derivatives, that is derivative with respect to ft, ct, it, ot. So basically derivative of the loss with respect to all these states and the derivative of the loss with all the gates. So now we have calculated all these derivatives. So let's move to the actual derivatives that we are actually interested in, that is the derivative of the loss with respect to w's and the derivative of the loss with respect to u's. Wherever we will have derivatives coming from these parts, we will be making use of that directly over here. So let's move to the actual derivatives that we will be using in updating our parameters. So now we will calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to the weights, and they are actually the derivative of the loss with respect to the input gate, derivative of the loss with respect to the output gate, derivative of the loss with respect to the candidate gate, and the derivative of the loss with respect to the forget gate. So we will calculate all of these together and see what results we will obtain, and also the derivative of the loss with respect to the V, which is the output matrix, that is actually taking the HT from the hidden states of the LSTM and producing the output, which is the final output Y hat, through the matrix V, which is connecting in between the two. So you can consult the earlier architecture that we have explained for this. So this V is also there, and you know that there are several Y hats for the different LSTMs that are running from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to, let us say, capital T. So for each of these blocks we will have a Y hat t corresponding to each of these blocks. So what we have to do is then we have to sum actually all that derivatives. So that's why we are using the summation from I running from 1 to t, and what we are doing, we are taking the derivative of the individual losses with respect to the V matrix, and this V matrix which is given over here is same throughout for all these blocks. That's why there is no indices here. We could have written like this, but it's not like that, because what we are assuming is that all the LSTM blocks will have same V. That's why the indexing here is omitted. So now if you want to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to V, that is actually this expression, and this we have got from the forward propagation equations that we have taken from the LSTM architecture. You can see that few slides back. So the derivative of the loss with respect to V can be calculated using this particular chain rule, and now it's very easy. You can see that the derivative of the loss with respect to V will be calculated like this, and you can cross verify that the matrix multiplications between the two indeed gives you H cross P, which is the derivative of the loss with respect to V, and we know that the V matrix also has a dimension of H cross P, so it has to match this dimension. So it's very easy to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to V using this expression. Now we have to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to the input gate, which we also call as DWI. This can be calculated using this, that is the derivative of the loss with respect to IT, and then derivative of the IT with respect to WI, and this is the extra equation that is taken from the forward propagation. And now this is basically calculated earlier, as I told you that we have calculated the loss with respect to all the input gates and all input states. So this is basically a particular input gate. This is basically the loss with respect to the particular input gate, that is DIT. This we have already calculated, which is given over here. So you can see from your earlier derivation. And now we have the derivative of the IT with respect to WI. So if you want to calculate the derivative of the IT with respect to WI, you know you have to calculate the derivative of this sigma also, which is the sigmoid, and which we have already discussed, that if you calculate the derivative of a sigmoid, which is sigma x times 1 minus sigma x, this is the expression that you get when you take the derivative of a sigmoid function. So we are using that same logic here. So if you want to calculate the derivative of the it with respect to wi here for this particular equation, that is it is equal to sigma times this 1 minus sigma times this expression times ht minus 1, because you are taking the derivative with respect to wi, so this will come out, that is ht minus 1, that's why it's here. So again, you know that it is basically this. So what you can do is you can substitute this as it, and you can substitute this big expression as it. So it will reduce to a small expression which is it into 1 minus it times ht minus 1. Again, this is the Hadamard matrix multiplication. So once you plug all these expressions, you will get this. So this is the combined expression when you calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to wi, which we also call as dwi, and you can cross verify the matrix multiplications over here. I am leaving it to you, and you can see that they indeed results in h cross h multiplication, and all this are actually Hadamard matrix multiplications, and these are the transpose. Please note that, and this is also a Hadamard multiplication. So once you calculate all of this, you will get h cross h. So this is the combined expression for the derivative of the loss with respect to wi, and I am leaving it to you to calculate the validity of this expression on the right hand side. Now the next is the derivative of the loss with respect to wf, which is also called as dwf, and this is also easy. You can calculate using this expression, and this is already calculated earlier, that is the derivative of the loss with respect to the forget gate. So this is actually the replica of what we have calculated earlier. The extra thing that we have to calculate is this. This is actually coming from this expression. So similarly, we can calculate the derivative of ft with respect to wf as we have done it for this particular case over here. So on similar grounds, what you can do is you can write the derivative of t with respect to wf is this. This is again Hadamard multiplication, and now you can write the final expression of the loss with respect to dwf as this. You can again cross verify whether this expression is true or not by matrix multiplying all these weights and see whether it is indeed true or not. Now we have to calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to output gate, which is also written in short form as dw0. This again follows the same logic that we have done it for forget gate, so it will follow the same procedure for this particular case also. So you can see that the derivative of the loss with respect to dw0 will be calculated like this. So now we have calculated the loss with respect to output gate, forget gate and input gate. The only thing that is left is the derivative of the loss with respect to the candidate gate wg, which we also call as dwg, and this also follows the similar derivation as we have done it for the earlier cases, but the only difference here is that now we have tan hyperbolic h here. So because of that, this particular expression will give you this result, as we are using the expression that the derivative of the tan hyperbolic h is equal to 1 minus tan hyperbolic square x. So that thing is this thing, and this one you have already evaluated in the earlier derivations, and this is nothing but dgt. This we have evaluated earlier. So that thing is basically this. You can copy it from the earlier expressions, and now this is the complete expression for the calculation of loss with respect to dwg, and its dimension is also h cross h. You cross verify yourself this matrix multiplication whether it's coming out to be h cross h or not, and all these points which I am writing over here are actually, all these dots basically are Hadamard matrix multiplications, and this is the transpose. Now this finishes off with the derivation of all the derivatives of the loss with respect to w's. Now we will calculate the expressions for the loss with respect to all u's in our next slide. So the derivative of the loss with respect to u's also can be calculated on similar grounds. I will not go into the details, but what I am giving here is the final expression that we can obtain when we calculate the derivative of the loss with respect to ui, and that is equal to this, and this we have already calculated earlier from our slides. You can check that as it's written over here, and then the derivative of the it with respect to ui will be calculated through this expression, and that will result in this expression over here and this expression over here, and this we have evaluated earlier also. So now you can see that the dimensions of the ui is d cross h from our earlier discussions. So the dimension of the dui will also be the same. So in order to maintain that same matrix multiplication, our matrices should be multiplied in this particular order, and this is the transpose. So this is the final expression for calculating the loss with respect to ui. Similarly, you can do it for the derivative of the loss with respect to uf, derivative of the loss with respect to u0, and derivative of the loss with respect to ug, and these will be the final results for that. This is the actually compact version. So once you put the actual values of these losses, which actual values of these derivatives, it will become, the expression will become too big. So in order to make it compact, I have not kept the original expressions that we have obtained for this particular derivatives, that is this and this. So this finishes off with the back propagation that is carried out in the LSTM architecture. In the next lecture, what we will discuss is why the LSTM does not suffer from the vanishing gradients, whereas in case of RNN we suffered from the vanishing gradients. So what is the reason behind that? So till then, thanks for watching my lecture. See you next time.